attention, really, to think,
Yeah.
is it worth that much? You know, mind you, these are players that come from Chelsea's academy. So
Right.
yeah, so these players have actually come off Chelsea's academy. So um,
Okay.
the next one is Rice, Declan Rice. Our,
Yeah.
our our very own Declan Rice, 120 million. Um, I think he's worth it. What do you think? I think
Yeah. I
that
mean, what are these? These are
these
estimates
are
of what someone
these
thinks
are
they're
these are the
worth.
most these are the most valuable 11. Yeah, so the most valuable players, but there's 11 of them. So there's the most valuable 11 players.
So
Uh,
that's what was paid for Rice. Certainly was a very high figure in terms of pounds, but did they pay 120 million euros for him?
yeah,
Is that what you
120
say?
million. Yeah, 120
Yeah.
in euros. Yeah, that's what they paid.
Yeah.
I actually agree with that. I think he's worth it. Um, not because he's
I
a big.
don't think he had a very good. He didn't. I don't think he had a great England Euros, but then I don't think many in our team did, even though we got to the final. I mean, I do think that, like you, I think he's a very good player, and you could say if anyone's worth that kind of money, someone like him is. He just seems to play very, very well for Arsenal, doesn't he?
He
He's
does.
again always in the right place, a great football brain. He scores some very good goals himself from outside the penalty area. So yeah, I like Declan Rice, but I think he needs to play in a certain way to have certain people around him to be most effective. So maybe that wasn't the case in the Euros, but
Yeah.
no, again we have to say, is anybody worth 120 million euros football wise? I don't. It's ridiculous, really. I mean, I don't know whether Jude Bellingham is on your list there, but probably not because he's not moving.
Isn't.
But
Yeah,
they've
he's
said
not.
he's sort of worth like 200 million pounds. Well, I don't think. I mean, he's a brilliant player. If anybody's worth that kind of money, then it would be Jude Bellingham. But I think transfer fees, they've gone out into a spiral of nonsense before, and maybe they're doing it again. But no, I think to come back to Declan Rice, I think he's a very good footballer. He plays very well at Arsenal, and indeed, as we know, Arsenal must be a real contender for the Premier League this season. It must be.
Yeah, yeah, there must be. Yeah, I think they've really. I think they deserve a shot this season.
Yeah.
I do think. I don't like Arsenal, but I do think that they deserve.
Why don't you like Arsenal? Come on, why don't you
Oh,
like them?
well, because my younger brother, he's Arsenal, and he used to taunt me about, when we were kids, he used to go, "Oh, look how good we're doing, doing so great, and stuff like that. And it just made me hate Arsenal, the players, not the players, the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
I
the
mean,
play.
it's funny because I know what you mean actually, because my older brother, Jeff,
Yeah,
um, as youngsters, he was always Man United, like you are. And in a way that often Man United supporters, I mean, most of their supporters don't live anywhere near Manchester. I mean, at least you do,
yeah, I noticed that.
but
Yeah,
um, but they have fans all over the world, like a lot of clubs, but particularly Man United do. Um, so yeah, Jeff was always Man United mad, and I never was. I didn't really support Palace at that stage, but
no,
I certainly didn't want Man United, and I won't say it turned me against them. I mean, I think back, that some of the players they've had over the years, they're a great team, but yeah, it did kind of they rubbed me up the wrong way a bit sometimes, or they used
yeah,
to, because my brother Jeff used to be so fanatical about them, which I never really understood because we didn't have any Manchester connections. So
no.
why that was, I don't know.
Yeah, Manchester United's always been like that. Because I've got a friend. Well, the son or the daughter rather is my friend. So let me say my friend's dad, and he's from Bradford, and he supports Manchester United. I was shocked to know that.
yeah,
I was talking to one of his one of his kids, and he said my dad supports Man United, and I'm like, wow, he's from Leeds, you know.
mm,
I couldn't understand it because I've always put him down as a Leeds supporter
yeah.
or at most Bradford, but he's gone to Manchester United. No, I don't get it. And they've got no connection with Manchester United because I asked it all. I said,
It doesn't always follow, does it? It
no, it
doesn't always
doesn't.
follow who people
Especially
support.
with Manchester. That's a good observation there. Especially with
Yeah,
Manchester United fans, it doesn't always follow. That's true. Yeah. Right. So the next one, I think this one you'll be shocked to know, Conor Gallagher,
yeah.
50 million euros.
Yeah, I saw that the other day, and I just don't believe that. You know what I think about Conor Gallagher, and it's
I do.
nothing personal. I mean, when he had his year on loan at Palace a
Yeah.
couple of seasons ago, I mean, he was a real fan's favourite, and at the end of that season, a lot of us were saying, "Oh, we need to buy him from Chelsea because they may well want to offload him," which they've now done, of course, or are doing.
Yeah.
But I liked his energy. Um, But as I think we saw in the Euros when he came on as a sub, that's all he's really got. Now, it's probably a harsh criticism, but he does run around, he scampers around, and that's good because where England weren't having a proper press, they weren't pushing forward enough. He would rush forward and put pressure on the goalkeeper and the defence, which is what you need in this
Yeah.
day and age in football. So
Yeah.
he's got qualities, undoubtedly. But I personally, as we said at the time, I wouldn't have brought him on as a substitute when I think you have players like Cole Palmer, Eze, and others who were perhaps more effective and more talented in what they did. So yeah, the idea that Gallagher's gone. Is it Atletico? I think it is, isn't it? Atletico Madrid, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, £40 million, 50 million euros.
Yeah.
I again, I don't see him a bit like Solanke as that level of player. I don't.
Yeah.
I think he. I mean, when Palace were talking about buying him, Chelsea was sort of saying £50 million and all that. But I think people have realised he's a good chap to have around. He's energetic. He's quite a good tackler. But beyond that, he's not perhaps fully the finished article again. Maybe he's got more to develop. But I would never be paying that level of money for him now. I really wouldn't. Nothing personal against him. As I say, I quite like the chap. When he was at Palace, he was a great favourite of all of us. But I don't think he's not developed since he went back to Chelsea in a way that I thought maybe he would.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't be paying. I wouldn't want to buy him now if I were in charge of Palace's transfers. I wouldn't go for him.
No.
No.
No. Right. Here's one that might divide opinion. Um, Olise.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Elise, Frenchman.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah.
did well in the Olympics, didn't he? In the French, is it under-23 team?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is potentially, I was going to say, but he does do it. A fantastic footballer. What always worried me at Palace was, I mean, we got him from Reading 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and my cousin Pete. Um, he's a Reading fan.
Yeah.
And when Elise came to Palace, I said, "What's he like?" Because I didn't know what he was like. He said, "Oh, he's very, very good. He's an excellent player." And of course, we saw that he's had a few injuries along the way, so he's had periods where he's not been playing. And I always thought he's actually a bit lightweight physically. He's not much of him. He's a very thin, slim guy. You think a puff of wind and he'd be over, but
Yeah.
actually he's got incredible speed,
Yeah.
and he's great talent at going past people. And then his great thing is he then